Welcome back to the TCP modded Minecraft server. Man, I am totally loving this server. Having such a great time with the mods. Appreciate the community for having the server. Appreciate Genuine Parts very much for maintaining the mod pack and organizing it, and keeping the server crash free, troubleshooting. No, it's got to be a lot of trouble, especially with people like me and Prov and some of the others that are spending lots of time on here and tinkering and creating issues for him. But anyway, I just thought I'd say that. I'm really grateful. But yeah, what are we going to do this episode? So last episode, what did you say? I'm too cool. I got my shades on. I'm too cool. Yeah. Last episode, what did we do last episode? Oh, where did we go? So last episode we got all this online and got this online. Man, it was a rather long episode, I realize. Yeah, I try to. I don't really want to go with 30 minutes, but I get so caught up in what I'm doing and get excited, and I just lose track of time and bite off a little more than I can chew in terms of project size. And I don't just want to do. I mean, I'm already doing, hours upon hours and hours of off-camera work. And I don't want to do 20 to 30 hours off camera work and then come back and say, oh, here's my whole base finished. That wouldn't be fun for me. If any of you actually watch this, it wouldn't be fun for you. So what I want to try to do is, you want to have benefit. It takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just so be it. It's going to take a while to get these initial projects online. So, yeah, so what we're going to work on this episode is, one thing I'll show you real quick. So anytime I log on, I'll just go ahead and craft up a bunch of things that we use a lot of, like CPUs or Certus cords, just any of those kind of things. So I started transferring a few of the items from below up here. Not enough to make any significant difference. You'll still say, oh, that's all I see is puke chests everywhere. And yeah, they're still everywhere. We have been getting some progress, but not a total, not as much as it needs to be. So that's what we're going to try to focus on. We're going to go ahead and show you what I want to try to do this one. So what I've done is take one of each of the ores that I care about. There's some magic ores that I'm just going to leave in Jabba barrels for right now as it quarries out. I'm not going to delete it or anything. I'm just not going to process it in any meaningful way because, I don't understand anything about the magic mods, and I'm not going to get into them just yet. I'm going to go ahead and tinker with what I enjoy and know right now, and then I'll get into those later. So anyway, I want to set up automatic ore processing. So I've got thousands and probably over 100,000 ore, at least that, because every time I move the miner it's about 20 to 25,000. And anyway, so I want to focus on figuring out the best way to process each ore. And the way I intend to do that is, so like if I just, let's just pick coal. So if I took coal and I wanted to determine the best usage for coal, or the best way to get the most coal out of there. So I can get 2 through an enrichment chamber, 1 to smelt it, which would be ridiculous. Pulverize it, I get 3 coal and a 25% chance for dust. That's probably not a bad option, and it may be the best option. I might do the sagma. I probably would do the sagma. Get a small 1% chance of diamonds. Cobble, which we can then pull out of the system for something else. Some coal. So yeah, sagma is probably the best item. But I want to do that for each item. So figure out what the best way to do with all of these different materials, and then get into the thermal foundation materials, and then get into the mechanism materials, and then get into just the random things, the random other materials. One thing that I will have to do pretty quickly is get my big reactor yellow orium ingots. I got to figure out the best way to do that. So let's look at that one. We may start with that. So we don't want to make it back into that. What am I looking at here? Okay, there we go. And grindstone, we get 2 of them, so it double. Don't care about smelting it straight up. Enrichment would double it. Purification, triple, quadruple. I'm really afraid. It looks like it's going to be the same as the vanilla ores. I'm scared to go down the rabbit hole. Scared to go down the rabbit hole of mechanism of 5 and 4 and 3 times OR processing. But you know what? That may just be the best way to do it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that out. So this episode, that's what I'm gonna be doing, is figuring out the best way to do those. And I'm gonna tinker around with this, make some notes on paper, and just try to figure out the best way to process all of these things. And when I get some kind of thought on paper of what I want to try to do with each one, I may organize it by, if it's going to be a multiple time OR processing mechanism, I'll put all those ORs here. If it's going to be some kind of fortune, I'll put them all here, blah blah blah. So anyway, I'm going to go take care of that, and when I have it figured out, I'll be back. Peace. Welcome back, everybody. I'm wanting to give you guys an update. I don't have anything new up here. Still have all that online, and the crafting and everything for that has gone just phenomenally well. Been really happy with all that. The AE system in general, just extremely excited. Really starting to gather some material. Yeah, for this episode, I've initially told you that I want to build the OR processing, and I still think I'm going to try to get to that, or at least the beginning of that this episode. But you know, let me show you down here. What? There's not 50,000 things you have to jump over? That's right. You probably saw in the AE system that it was completely, if I sort it by item A and then number of items perhaps, or number of items, there we go. So you can see it really started to do a lot of things. I got everything out of chests, put it all in there, and when I did that, it got me kind of motivated, thinking about what I could really do and finish the not finish, but do with this part of the base, our basement area, kind of get it looking good, those kind of things. And so yeah, so then I said, well, what all does it take to make something look good? What would he really want to do with this area down here? So what? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I took my digital miner and I mined out this whole area, and then I've kind of lit it up for the temporary. But I'm thinking I've got some plans for what I want to do with this area, and I'm thinking that I'm just going to probably work on getting the basement decorated. We'll call this the basement maintenance wiring area, and then kind of figure out exactly what I want to do with this area here. I've got some ideas. I'm not gonna commit myself to anything, so I'm not gonna say them on video right now. But I've got some cool ideas on what I want to do with it. So anyway, I thought I'd just kind of show you guys what the progress was and where I was at with this. And I'm going to still look into the OR processing. I've left these out here and try to figure out the best way to process the OR. Right now, I've just been 2 times processing them from the sag mill through the alloy smelter, and just basically as I need gold or yellow ride or whatever, I've just been throwing it in this chest, and it goes out through the sag mill into that chest, and then goes up through the alloy smelter back into the ME interface. So I'm definitely going to get into the OR processing. The part that got me is I'm thinking that I just want to do 3 times OR processing right now. And if I just do 3 times OR processing right now, there's really not much difference between 3 and 2 until I really feel like getting into the 5 times OR processing. And I'm not sure when that's going to be. So right now I'm just going to continue on with the 2 times OR processing and figure out what I want to do down here in the base. So I will continue getting my thoughts together and putting things together, and I'll update you guys when I come back. Thanks. Alright guys, I've done some work off camera and put together what I'm going to use as kind of my maintenance area / storage. I've got an idea. So there's like Swiss cheese right now, but I did that so that I could light it as we talk. But yeah, I'm just going to create a generic lighting pattern like I've done, and I kind of like the way this block. It's actually the same block painted, but it gives it a it doesn't, for whatever reason, the painted. Oh, sorry about that. My text message there. The painted marble does not match back up to the non-painted for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. But at any rate, I really like the pattern that it kind of creates, and whether I like it or not really doesn't matter, because we are going to go with lighted flooring, and it worked out good with those because those are already squared off each one, and so you really couldn't tell. But rather than go back to the drawing board, it took me it wasn't really too bad making the floor in here. You can kind of see I'm just going to section off that whole area and abandon it to the world. But it wasn't really too bad because I have the builder's one, and we're gonna build some stuff here in a little while down below, and I'll use that and probably do some of it on camera so you can see just how easy it is. And yes, for you OCD people, my room is off by 1, and I did not feel like changing it, so I just went with it. But I'm thinking that down here, I'm going to use it for piping of all of my AE2 system to the areas above. What I wanted to make sure, and the reason I went ahead and cleaned up the basement before I got into the ore processing, right now the primary thing that I want to make sure that I do is get organized, and get organized in a big way before I start any kind of mass production of anything, whether it be ores or whatever other project there may be. I wanted to make sure that I'm well on my way to having everything ready for automation. And part of doing that is just simply making sure that you have just being organized. And so what I wanted to do, and I have some ideas for how I wanted to do the storage to help the AE2 system. Truthfully, probably don't need to. I have all 20 of those are 64-bit crafting, or the 64-bit storage, the very best one. I went ahead and added those extra 8 filing cabinets that I can eventually put those drives in, but I'm probably not even utilizing, oh gosh, I don't know, 30% maybe total of my current AE2 system, and I could expand it infinitely right now. I could probably go ahead and fill up all those with 64 with just what I have right now, but I want to go ahead and create some type of storage with barrel mod. That way the ores, as they come in through the quarry, that I will eventually do, and see, that does look kind of cool. It gives it a nice pattern. And the wall is the same thing. It doesn't really let me get this painting thing stopping here. Oops. It doesn't really the wall doesn't tie in either, which kind of sucks a little bit, but it just is what it is. So when you do the wall, you have the same problem. See, it doesn't match up perfect, but you know what? Some of it can be seen from the outside, some of it can't, but even the ones that can be seen from the inside, I think since I have the pattern, I think it's going to be okay to my eye. I went through and knocked them all out, just going around the room, and what I thought would be a pattern that could create plenty of light for the room, and this is what I came up with as I was just running around doing it. And yeah, anyway, we're just going to go with it. I think I can live with it. It's not going to bother me. But yeah, back to the storage. So I'm going to set up my Java barrel system, and that way, as the artifice ores and the various different types of, like iron ore, I think I showed you guys in a previous episode, is that there's so many different mods that produce their own version of copper and tin, and iron can come inside cobble, inside basalt, inside marble. It creates for like a bunch of different mods. Well, the Java barrels, for whatever reason, it sorts that all out and makes it the same mod. So I can have everything that we gather through the quarry or the digital miner run through a Java barrel, and it puts it back into the correct ore format, which to me is pretty daggum awesome. So I want to do that. I'm going to set up something down here to kind of get the just something to look at before I tie it into the AE2 system. Probably going to redo the AE2 system that you see here, and how the cabling, keep it really close to the ceiling so that it doesn't interfere with anything down here. And probably going to do something with my ME controller, make a permanent big ME controller here that I don't ever have to expand again. So anyway, just thought I'd give you guys a quick update, and I think once I get the storage basically set up and the AE2 maybe change to however I'm going to want it at the end result, I'll check back in and let you guys see what it looks like. Alright guys, I wanted to come back and take a brief moment and show you the update we've made so far. I haven't really got to set up any of the storage yet, but I think I've already shown you the room complete. I like the way the patterns turned out. It actually looks decent on the outside as well. That top row of lighted blocks there actually comes in right at like the ground line on the outside, so it looks pretty good actually. But yeah, boom, cleaned up the AE system altogether. This was all skystone, as you remember seeing from the bottom below, and the wiring was all messy, and I actually went up and rewired all of that. I understand AE quite a bit more after tinkering with it for a day or so. So I rewired all of that, compacted the system in general, moved the storage around, kind of made it nice and organized down here, and then yeah, obviously I made a 7x7 controller. There's no way I'll ever use all those circuits. Probably could have just got away with the one or two, but I had the materials to craft them, and I thought it looked better. Kind of created the symmetrical lighting pattern on the wall and centered it in the space. So, and up here is identical as it was before. Everything still functions craft-wise. And so now my choice is to get on with the ore processing or continue my organization efforts down below and install some storage before I do the processing. You know what? I think the storage is going to win out. I think I want to get my storage area set up down here to be a permanent part of the base before I move into the ore processing. So I'll be back with you guys when I get to that point. Peace. Alright guys, I want to give you a bit of an update. I'm a little bit disappointed. You may notice that the lighting is removed from the flooring. Well, that's because I got everything in and really found the design I liked on the storage. Yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. That's going to be really nice. I got plenty I brought it off of the back wall by 3 to create some depth back there for cabling, because I'm going to put a ME storage bus on all of these, and it just allows me a good place to run my cabling. So yeah, I should be happy. Everything looks wonderful, right? Right. Well, you know, I'm an asymmetrical kind of guy. You may have even noticed it in the previous video. I kind of noticed that the ceiling was off, or the room was off-centered by 1. But again, you may remember back to one of my early videos on this series, and I messed up on the house up above. I put it where the house up above was off-center, or it was an exact even number instead of going an odd number. And man, am I still paying that price, and I probably will this entire series. Golly, way too far gone into the house to change that. So what I'm going to do, and I'll do it off camera, but I'm going to reduce this from 5 down to where it has only 4 blocks in here. I'll have to redo this configuration to make it look good, make it symmetrical. But yeah, in general, I still really like the way that's turning out with the better barrel mod. I think that looks pretty good, and I think the sky stone and pillar theme is going to fill out the rest of the room very nicely with the I already have ideas on what I'm going to do on all the perimeter walls for this entire space, so I'm pretty excited about getting that going. But before I can do that, I'm going to have to literally tear down this whole thing. Take out those right there. Move it over 1 block. Golly. I'm not even really OCD in the world, but something that's just out of symmetry for whatever reason in Minecraft, it just blows my mind. I cannot take it. And, you know, I guess that's just the nature of the beast. So I'll be back. Alright, hopefully this is the last time I have to tinker with this part of it, but I rearranged the room completely, and yeah, I've shrunk that by 1. It was 7 wide, now it's 6 by 7, so it's 7 tall, 6 wide, but I think it looks good. It's symmetrically centered in the room now. I had to come up with a lighting pattern that worked out with the size room, and this is what I came up with. Yeah, again, doesn't have to be perfect. This is really just storage that only I'm ever really going to see in the 4 people that ever watch my video. But anyway, I like the way it turned out. I think it looks pretty cool. So I thought I'd show you what my game plan was before I got it all done, and then I'll show you the completed project. But I'm thinking, since Java barrels do an automatic ore conversion, I'm getting the ore in the version that I want. For example, I want the iron to be in the standard Minecraft version of iron, not the artifice and all the other different things. So I've got the version that I want, then I've got the finished product, and I'm going to do that. You know, I've got this laid out where it has 8 channels, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 per area, and this is I think this is essentially what it's going to look like in the back. I'm going to run a dense cable all the way through there. So each of these will take 2 this smart cable is put there to indicate that it has 8. It's taking 8 channels off of that, right? So there'll be 8 more here, and then 8, 8, 8, and 8. So this should work out. We'll see where it comes in at, but I think it has 6 times 8 is 48 channels, and I believe all I can get off of this cable is 32 channels. So what I'll do is bring another channel off and probably catch these 8 here. Oh, whoops, diamonds. I'll bring another dense cable off, or I may just bring 2 regular cables over and catch those. It doesn't have to look real pretty, it just has to be functional. But I'm using the cables to just divide them up. And I have the ME storage bus that I'm going to set to configure partition based on current items. So I'm going to go through and put all the items in them and lock them in, and then configure the partition to lock into that item so that only that item can be transported in and out of the system. Bidirectional just simply means that the item can go in or out of this particular storage component, and this only if I can take the item out of the chest is the only time it'll be available when I look in the ME system. So anyway, I'm going to get all this set up and get the basics configured, and then I'm going to go through after that and try to put everything in my system in these barrels and see which barrels I have to upgrade, and then try to figure that out. So I probably won't come back until I have at least all the barrels set up the way I want, and then I'll come back and show you the finished project and show you what I had to do to get the wiring to work, because I still have no clue. Never done it before, but I'm going to figure it out, and I'll be back shortly. Dum, dum, da, dum, 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 boom. That's right, folks. That's right. So we got it set up. Yeah, got the room repaired, as I've already showed you in the previous video update, and I've got all the wiring done. Got everything sorted out in terms of what I want in there. Just briefly show you this. So this was the cable that functions or provides the Inscribatron and Puddletron with power and circuitry. I'm using that to catch these last 2 sets of barrels. I had to run a new dense cable to catch these 2 sets. Could have ran these off of it, but they were close enough. I just said, heck with it, I'll run it right there. I may eventually just take it and stick it onto that dense cable. That way I have all these channels available to come out for various projects down below that we'll do. But in here, I'm going to leave, probably not going to do anything else with this room in terms of putting anything else in here. And that way, if I get to where if I need more storage or whatever, I may do just small decorations, but I don't intend to do any kind of other functions in here. That way, if I have to, I can run the barrels all along the entire perimeter and just have a massive storage area. I don't think that I will ever need to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that option available. But what I thought I would show you is probably notice that the barrels look different. If you're not very familiar with, we don't have deep storage units in Minecraft. We don't have Mine Factory Reloaded, so we don't have the DSU deep storage units. And apologize for this. Boy, I forgot to do this all day, turn down the volume and stuff. Goodness gracious. But excuse me for that. But we don't have the deep storage units, so we have to use the Java barrel mod, which is fine. But you can only hold 64 stacks, which is 4,096 items. So I thought I would show you how I'm overcoming that to some extent. So let me pull out my different things, and I set up patterns for every one of these in the AE system. So that's the barrel you're familiar with. It holds 64 items. Well, 64 stacks, 4,096 items. Well, to get that for this barrel mod to have the ability to upgrade, you got to put in what's called structural upgrades, and that starts with tier 1, which is made out of oak planks. And just to show you the craft recipe, pretty simple, pretty cheap, no big deal, no big deal. So to put that in there, you do it like that, but to apply it, you hold shift and right click. So what that does is, now if you look at the tooltip, it says upgrade slots 1 of 1. Still only holds 64 stacks, because I haven't done anything other than upgrade the structure to make it to have the ability to have an upgrade slot. So then we would take, and if I hold another one in my hand, you can see that it has the upgrade 1 times available, and it has 1 extra upgrade slot available. So if I apply the iron, which all of these upgrades are pretty simple, I'm not going to show them all. If you've got any eye, you can see them too, but they're all pretty simple. Get expensive. when you factor in that I have 96 barrels, so that's basically 400 or 390 of each one of these items. So when I got the diamond, that was a little expensive. But anyway, so you apply that. I actually kind of like the look of the iron, but then you have to go in sequential order. So you would apply the gold, which is ugly, diamond, which is also ugly, and then yeah, I kind of like obsidian. I stopped at obsidian because hey, it kind of goes with the theme. Looks pretty good. So yeah, we have 31 upgrade slots available. So what the upgrade slots are is, if you look at this, I believe that you have to, I don't think like I can right away just apply that on there. Oh, actually, yes, I can. Excuse me. So, oh no, I can't put it in there. Boo. So if I try to put that on there, it did let me. Okay, so super. So I would put a 27 on there. I could put that on there, and then I could put that on there, and that's 31. So that's 2,048 stacks of items. 2,048 stacks of items. And if you do the math, that's 131,072 items per barrel. So it will be quite some time before I need to upgrade anything. And you can see I've got barrels upgraded over here that I don't even have anything for, and these are all mob drop items. I obviously don't have near enough items to fill up those barrels, but I'm building for the future. Future of D-Tech is bright. We're going to have tons and tons and tons of stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. So far on all these, all I have are the various. I've got the upgrade slots on there, but I don't have the actual. I've got the structural upgrades, but not the item upgrades or whatever. So what I'm going to do is show you the last kind of thing that I wanted to show, and I'm going to do that by upgrading the iron. So the iron, you can see it has 31 slots, so we're going to put the 27 in there, the 30, and then the single one to make it 31. So that now can hold up to 131,000 items. You can see it right there, it says so. Okay, so I had previously told you the primary reason for doing this through the barrel mod is that barrel has an automatic ore converter. So all this is a tesseract that's set up on a frequency, just I've temporarily made up a frequency, Draff items, and this one will send the items that go into this chest, and this one is set up to receive those items, which directly interface with the ME interface, plops them back into our system. So what I had to do, and quickly I'll show you. So all of my all of my ME storage drives right there, my files, those all have priority because I wanted them to fill from left to right. And what I mean by that is that they have everything in AE basically has a priority area. And so my filing devices are in sequential numbers from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what I did is on all of my ME storage buses, I just went and simply made them a priority of 100. And what that will do is it will, anything that enters the AE system through any means, by any means that it goes into the AE system, through an ME terminal, through a storage bus, through me dumping it in, whatever, it will go to the highest priority device first if it has the ability. So you can see I have all these locked, and I also additionally have them filtered in the back so that only, for example, this one, only the tanzanite can go in to this bus no matter what. So, and with a priority of 100, any tanzanite that goes into the system will automatically go into that storage device. Alright, so now with having that knowledge of how that works, so, and I've told you about the ore conversion, so what I want to look at now is, we've got those all applied to the iron barrel. And iron is something that I have the most of. So, but what I've done is I've just taken a sample size here. So these are the regular iron. These are the ores that we want everything to be, right? And then these are some of the various ores I've told you that from the artifice, that like this one is in piece of marble, this one is in like red limestone or something. But artifice mod spawns them at all kinds of crazy different ores, which is fine, as long as we can convert them. So you can see that I've locked in the barrel, and I've locked it in with just a typical. Let's take that out. That's just a typical Minecraft ore, right? So just a regular old iron Minecraft ore. So there's only one in there. So in theory, and I haven't tested this, honestly, I have not tested this at all, but in theory, if I stick this in there, those are going to go through, and let me do this real quick. Stack. Let's do this for purposes of expediting the for you folks. Got some speed upgrades. Yeah, that'll do it to it. So we put that in there. Boom, boom. Okay. So now anything we put in there is going to instantly go into the system. So looky up here. So, okay, perfect, works, no problem. Didn't do anything special there, Draffon. The regular Minecraft door stayed the Minecraft door. Well, here's the magical part. So we put this in there. So guess what? Now, no, I think I told you I didn't test this. So let me look here. Let me do the math. One stack of 64 plus 32. That's all I put in there. Surely to goodness this is going to work. That's going to be very disappointing if not. It's going to be very disappointing if not. Oh no. I was afraid of that. I really was afraid of that, but I thought for sure it would work. But, oh, you know what? 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 This will be kind of a pain, but I think it's still possible. Let me see here. This will be kind of a pain because after every so often while I'm quarrying, I will have to upgrade filters. But I think. So we got a filter there. I think I can put one there to filter that one to go in, right? I put that one there to filter that. So now, in theory, it should attempt to put all of those into the same storage device. And knowing what we know about the OR conversion, it should automatically do that, right? Shouldn't it? So let's see, what do we got up there? So I can remember 64 and 32. 64 and 32. So now it should be 2 times 64 and 32. Is that going to work? Is that going to work? No. No. No, it's not. No, it's not. How could it not work? Because if we take it and stick it right here, it goes in, right? Yeah, see? It goes in like that. How does that not work? Tell you what. Oh, goodness. Let me fiddle with this off camera and see if I can figure it out. And come back and try to show you what I found or didn't find. I'll be back. Alright, bad news. I've tinkered with it a little while and I have not figured out how to make it work. I've added the filters, done quite a few different things, and for whatever reason, because it has a different ID is what I'm guessing, when you put it in the system, regardless of the fact that I have a filter to put it out there, the high priority, it just sticks it into the normal system for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I'll continue to tinker with it over the next day or two, but I'm not going to let it hold me up. I want to finish this project, and for the most part, I'm extremely happy with how it turns out. I'm a little disappointed in that, but I have an idea how to fix it, but I don't like the idea because I've already rebuilt this room, and with lighting and flooring and all of that. I've rebuilt it like 3 times, almost completely, and it's consumed a tremendous amount of time. And you know what? I started off this episode with the desire and the to get my ore processing and smelting and all that online, so that I've got a ton of patterns in already, but yet I have to pull out, and I'm constantly having to go back here and pop down a sag mill or a smelter or whatever, because I don't have my machines online to do that automatically. And I want to do that. I want to get that online. Golly. So anyway, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm not going to let it bother me. I have a solution. Not going to worry about implementing it right now because, honestly, it doesn't matter. I've got a ton of storage. So what I thought I would do is not fret, not worry about it. Just throw this iron back in there. Not worry about it. Not going to worry about it. Can't make me worry about it. So what I thought I would show you is also, so all of these are empty right now. These are all 64K drives, and they're all empty. See, all empty. So this is basically a ME drive, and which I don't need, or I do need, but the ME drive has all of my good stuff. Is it IO? I think it is ME IO. Okay, so yeah, ME IO port. This is basically how you can defrag your system. So what I've done is throw it on there, and so what it does is you can put a drive in here. For example, I'm just going to take this drive that has 63 items, 1300, And so, like you can see, these are all basically one, except for the few that I've put some in. I've processed a bunch of diamonds manually to create the diamond upgrades because I have fortune on this pick right here, and I wanted to get as many diamonds as I could for it, so I did. Everything else is still basically one, everything. So what I thought I would do is show you how to defrag your system. So as you get items and build up your system, they go into just whatever drive is in the system, right? Some of these have a lot of data, some of them don't have very much data, blah, blah, blah. So the way you defrag your drive is, this is set up to take it from the drive that you put in on the left, and whenever it's moved to output when empty, so it takes this drive, puts it in here, takes the data, transfers it into the system. That's the picture of an ME drive, which is this structure, but it just means it goes into the AE system that it's attached to. And so what I hope is, by defragging the drives, these barrels all have a higher priority than these drives up here. This is the highest priority of these drives, second priority, third priority, fourth priority. And let me make sure actually that this has a negative priority so that it does not go in for sure. So that will be, the plan is to put everything from the system into these barrels that can go into these barrels. Like right now, what I wanted to look and see is what I have 8 drives that are virtually, let's just call them 100% full. They're between 61 and 63 items. We're going to call them 100% full. So we're going to see at the end of this, of the 8 drives, how many are we able to condense down to, and how many are we able to save. I think it's pretty simple math of 1.5 of them, but data-wise, we'll save a tremendous amount of data, which is a difficult number to measure. So anyway, without further ado, you stick them in there, and I'll go ahead and just pull all these out because it doesn't matter. Don't need the items right now. You can see that one's already dumped all of its information, and see, zero bytes. And this right now, you can see that it's pulling out, and if it has a lot of bytes in there, it takes a minute. It's not the quantity of item types that makes a difference, it's the volume of data stored, which makes sense if you think about it. You can pick up one stone faster than you can pick up a stack of 1,000 stones. So, and we're going to stick this back up here, boom, boom, and this will be a priority of 10 at the end of the day, so we'll leave it there now. Actually, that we're going to put it, oh, alright, I already got one up there. Sorry. We're just going to give this a minute to, rather than derping around, we're just going to give this a minute to go through. It won't take much longer, they're almost done. So it's almost finished dumping these items. We're just kind of trying to check and see. Okay, so look at that now. 349 stacks. There's 20. I got 22,363 iron. I have. Oh, you know what? I'm a dodo head. That's the only one I've actually applied the upgrades to. But that's exactly what I want to do. I'll have to run back through the defrag again. I'll do that off camera. But you can see what I wanted to do. So when I upgrade the barrel with the 31 slots and then add all of the storage upgrades, that's essentially what happens. Instead of me having 20,000 iron buried into one of these drives in the system, now I have 20,000 iron right here. That's a good visual representation of what I have, and so forth. So anyway, I'm going to continue on with this off camera, finish up, see about how many we're at in the video. I don't want to make super long videos every time, so we're going to finish up cleaning this area up, see where we're at in the video, and either I'll come back and wrap it up, or we'll move on into something else. Alright guys, I really wanted to come in and bang out getting the more processing online, since that was the original intent of the video, but you know what, I got a lot done. I'm extremely happy, and got everything downstairs looking good, got everything going. A little disappointed that I can't convert the ores the way I want, but I already have a solution in mind. I just don't feel like messing with it right now, so I'll do it later, at a later time. But anyway, I don't want to disappoint anybody that actually makes it this far in the video, so I did set up some more processing. I did set up the ore processing. I set up the Orinator 5000. That's right, it's fully automatic. well, fully automatic almost. You can just sit here and right click and right click and right click, and eventually the Orinator is going to double your ore output. That's right, folks. It will double your ore output, I say. Look at that. Yeah, oh yeah. Now, this is how all the people in the big mansions do it. That's how they get their ore. That's how they double their ore. Anyway, folks, I'm again pretty excited, pretty happy that I got everything fixed up. Really happy the way everything looks. I think the black of the obsidian barrel upgrades actually make the barrels tie in really well to the area. I just like it. I think everything looks really good. Again, I'm going to leave this as a total storage area, and I promise next episode I'm going to get into some of those the ore processing and things like that, because the next big project I want to do once I have ore processing online is going all out ender quarry. I'm getting the ender quarry up and going. I already made my mind up. I'm going to use the ender quarry. Ralph burned to death. Who the heck is Ralph? Must be somebody's pet. Not Ralph. But anyway, that's the way I'm going to go after this episode. That's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to get the everything online with the processing of ores, so that next episode I can really get the ore processing on. Then the episode after that, or maybe next episode, depends on how long it takes me to get the ore online, I'm going to get up and going in the quarries. I've got the digital miner and I've been using it a ton, and I just want to get the ender quarry up and going. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Give me some feedback. I love feedback. Anything you think would look good, and goodness gracious, if any of you know how to get these ores automatically converted by pulling in and out of the AE system, I am all ears, my friends. All ears. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and peace out.